So, right, this is a disclaimer, right? This is not telling you to go and treat mentally ill people badly or anything. Don't ever forget harassing others is a sin and evil. So it's not justified because that human is evil. The only thing that's normal is to hold people accountable, right? In this world, we don't take things into our own hands. You just let the legal world deal with it. You expose people for the bad things they do like that. But this episode, when I say mentally ill, right? How demons use them, it's really, you know what I mean? It's the evil ones, but technically all extremely mentally ill are just evil humans. They're just possessed to act crazy and weird and irrational and abnormal. That then makes people forget their character is bad, you know? They're not a good person. Because a good person's not going to do those things they do, you know? So it's not a sick person. Well, where's my phone? It's not like some dementia, you know? No. So, yeah, I explain it, but just know we don't want you to forget there's always that rare situation only God knows of someone that demons have really driven to this sort of insanity, but maybe they don't do bad things. They're rare, right? But I have to acknowledge they might exist. So when I say mentally ill people, how demons use them or that they're very harmful in this episode, I'm really talking about ones, if you also were with me, you could see that too. You know, you can actually see it. They're bad, you know? So, yes, I'm telling you, it's basically all of them, but still, I'm telling you to be just with them and don't just link them together, you know? If you observe them, it's not hard to know their character because they actually are criminals usually. They roam around just doing bad behavior instead of roaming around simply because you're just homeless, you know? Because you don't have to be homeless, right? Maybe you got out of it. But the sin they commit, the evil they commit is covert. So that's why you don't think they're a threat. You just think they're weird and sick, but you don't think they're evil because all they do is roam around. Exactly, and that's the whole point of this episode. They roam around to do the devil's dirty work. They stalk people for demons covertly. They get possessed at a level that 24/7 they're a demon. They're rarely a human. So it's always a demon, and therefore they're always stalking people. They're always putting witchcraft on people. They're always doing something spiritually evil. So you see then why they have to just walk around doing normal behavior? Because those things are covert. Stalking people is usually covert, right? You just walk the same road every day. In gangstalking, they just use mentally ill people all the time. So except in strange situations, they're not obviously victims to gangstalking. So if you see people talking about being gangstalked and they look mentally ill, just exit the video. Because the whole goal of gangstalking is to accuse you of being mentally ill. That's not rational. They're already mentally ill. What's the point of accusing them, you know? So they do that to normal, healthy people that are very gifted, that a lot of people are envious of. You know what I mean? That's who's victim to it. And these humans are the perpetrators, you know? And just narcissistic humans, psychopathic humans who, right, no one considers them mentally ill. They are mentally ill. They're just the covert ones who pretend to be normal around you just so they don't get treated like these ones. And these ones, I've seen them act just like those narcissists and others. They can switch off the sick-looking face and really act like a healthy person if they want to. So it's really something they're choosing to pretend to look sick and weird all the time. They can be fine, you know? So they're tricking society is what I'm saying. They're not sick people. They're evil, but it's like an evil that wants to make you think they're sick. So then it can actually get away with the type of evil it specializes in. You know? But yeah, we're not going to say they're not attacked by demons. They're possessed at a level that's high. Okay, so that means they're oppressed by demonic possession. Yeah, but we're saying it's their fault because they commit so much sin. You get me? That type of fault. Not right like that you somehow evil is done to you. It's your fault. No, I mean like they do evil and then the demon gets permission to then possess them more and oppress them more like that. If they just do good every day, they just mind their business. Well, the mental stuff can never get to the level it's gotten. It gets so extreme for a reason. too much evil conduct. So, yeah, a lot of them are the most perverted I've ever seen, you know? That's what I mean. They're just perverts. They're just narcissists. They're just creepy. They're just weird, like the bad people you already know. But then they have the sickness quality. And that is what devil's hope actually makes you think they're not a threat. And that's why they don't stop moving. Even if they find a place to stay, they're always moving. They don't take a break. They don't rest like a tired person would be from homelessness. Please give me a job, you know? It's crazy because demons don't want them to rest and get a job. They want to use their body to roam around doing bad stuff to you and I in society invisibly and sometimes visibly. Okay, another episode for this week. I'm basically mixing multiple topics. So just a weekly update first. And then I'm gonna basically share with you again. This episode I deleted. It was too long and too confusing. I'm just gonna make it short and simplified. You know, it was basically about a type of demon I saw that heavily uses Africans, but of course can apply in other ways to other races. It's just the way I explained it is a bit confusing, maybe. And that's just something that I have to get rid of. Because since, right, I always tell you guys I'm not a regular human. It just means I wasn't created like you. So there's many qualities I have that a female doesn't have. And there's many qualities that just humans have that I don't have. And then I just share with you just the basics. And I was created differently so that then I could actually be born to this life and help you one day. First thing I'm doing is exposing corruptions in Islam. Something that hasn't been done in so long. And then, right, more physical action will actually do something to help you will be later, God willing. Right now is because I'm basically being given the same life that prophets had and messengers, which is, you know, a lot of the biblical people. And some are not in the Bible, obviously, because it's been ever since Adam and Eve. How many people did God send to help you with religion? I'm sure some were females, but the corruption, if it's always centered on sexism, when demons corrupt scripture, of course they're going to take that out if God ever chose them as a leader. So we don't know. Something we're just going to have to see. But right, the fact that then I have their life means that I go through different programs. So different types of demons with different types of agendas, basically. When I say program, I mean they specialize in a certain type of evil. Their job is to do evil number one, like that. And that one, that group is doing something else. So some demons, they possess people, animals, and pests, situations, which means just bad things happen. And humans were not even involved. And then, right, that means then I learn how they corrupted religion, how they accuse prophets and messengers, which are the most honorable men when it comes to sexuality. They're very pure in sexuality, which also means they cannot be corrupted morally. So that's what I mean by they were supernatural and not regular humans. It means when it comes to morality, if right, if evil comes to them, it cannot corrupt them. You know, so they're created to help you. So they're gonna be created pure in a way that it's not like you. Many of you, if evil tries to teach you, you'll just do that evil behavior. They're not. So that's what we mean by pure, you know, versus pure that can be used in other ways. Okay, but a lot of them have supernatural abilities, and that's why they're easily accused of being sons of God, like Jesus. And he's not the first one. Many men before him were accused of that. And who knows? Maybe they were daughters too. We're just not going to necessarily have examples. And then What was I trying to say? So yeah, the way they were accused, I get to see that. I get to learn that because demons who did that follow me, you know? And then demons who specialize in gangstalking, which is a new witchcraft. Only some people are victims to it. They just may not call it this term, so you may not think, you know, they know what's going on. They usually think they're being harassed by narcissists wherever they go, like that. And they usually come from narcissistic families, but they're a good person. They're not like them. So those types of families use witchcraft and they persecute this person with humans like themselves. A human can't do that. So it means those narcissists are demons, psychopaths, narcissists, sociopaths, and also extremely mentally ill people. None of them are human. So when demons use many humans, right? Just typical decent human but bad qualities. And then they use others. They might have a job. They might be, who knows, even do an important job like a police officer. It doesn't matter what they do. The most creepy, the most weirdest, and the ones who are always trying to accuse me, and the ones who seem to have a lot of demons work through them where they put too much witchcraft on me, are always mentally ill, you know? So the sort of obvious mentally ill, like the homeless ones in the street, even their body looks mentally ill, right? They don't look like a normal person. Or the ones who might have a job, a car, but if you observe them a little bit, they always look sort of violent or angry. Their face, you can tell, even if they, whatever. A lot of them are working in important places like churches, mosques. You know, it's very hard. But I don't want you to then be scared of then the fact that the normal people can be accused of mental illness because I'm saying they don't look like it. No, they actually look like it. I just mean they have jobs and stuff, you know? But a normal person actually looks normal. They just might be bad in that sense. But mental illness is just a higher level of demonic possession. It doesn't exist. So they're not sick people. They're not poor little babies. They're criminals. Every day they walk around society. They make so much noise. They do these things, right, that don't look evil or bad. But every time they do it, they're putting witchcraft on somebody. So that's why, or some other power. And then that's why there's so many of them now after COVID in the streets. Where do they all come from, right? Because they're actually demons and they're working together to curse the cities, the states. You're all going to start to have sicknesses and problems and financial problems the more these people are around you because they're just not human like you. They're very evil. So I have to then see demons who are exactly possessing humans who are heavily mentally ill. That's why I see them being used way too much, but not before. I've never seen them before, you know. It's only recent. You get me? Because I see demons of different programs. So earlier in life, since, right, they've been following me since before birth. That means the first few demons I saw were like the ones who specialize in evil within families and narcissism and religious places like mosques and churches like that. Then as I get older, just more generic ones like that, just generic, and like that. That's how I learn different types of subjects then. The psychology of evil, corruptions in religion, what's wrong with these mentally ill people, why the world is becoming weird, what these behaviors that you see every day, some of them are connected to being signs at the end of the world, right? They're going to start to actually happen left and right around you. And then solutions to all these things. I don't just learn them, you know? But then other stuff that's just spiritual and some things that I won't really have to teach you. It's not really for you. It's just for me. And then I've also learned to pray and other things. So, right? That also means I have some qualities where I have some spiritual abilities because how am I able to know all this? So I can see demons in people. God basically opened my spiritual ability to see them, you know? I don't just see a bad person. I see how many demons, where they are, what type of sin that person committed, their feelings and thoughts, their intention. That's scary, right? Imagine if I know your intention and your feelings and thoughts. I really do. I really do have that ability. So, including the type of crime or sin you did, especially if you're someone roaming around society and no one caught you yet. So sometimes when I just notice that, right, in a human who's pretending to just mix with everybody, instantly their demon manifests to try to distract me, or they try to do something harassing. because I was really seeing something. They're thinking, how did this happen? Because they don't know as demons, right? What my abilities are or who I am. They just know a little bit that God is putting me through this, and they're not obviously persecuting me. God just makes them manifest out of people, situations, just so that I learn things. So it's never directed at me. It's just happening in front of me so much. So you still have to protect your emotions. So that's why lately I've been doing weekly chit chats, because it's like a healing for me, because now, right, the demonic harassment or persecution is at the highest level because it's about to end, right? Because I'm like 30 now, and that's usually when prophets, their life was normal, and then, right, God took demons out of their life, and they, it's like their breakthrough or their normal life started, and then maybe a while later they would do their mission, whatever that mission is. Not all of them were just teaching religion. Some were kings. So you can have wealth, you can lead a country more like that and also be a prophet. And you don't have to necessarily just be this religious man talking to everybody. So, yeah, because I'm learning different stuff, like different abilities and different things about the human beings in this world and what's wrong with them. I'm seeing the worst of humans now, which, if you ask me, are mentally ill people. I swear to God, I'm really sick and tired of seeing them. Like, I actually feel sick being around them. Not only are there demons constantly putting evil stuff on me, like witchcraft, but they make me sick. You know what I mean? Because they're heavily perverted. They themselves mentally are tortured so much by the demons. That's then why, right, you consider them mentally ill, right? Like their mind is weird because there's a demon there in the mind. So since I know people's feelings and thoughts and intentions, it's like I can see what's going through their head to some degree. And you get me? It's like, it's a blessing, but it could be bad at some point. I'm getting sick from seeing them and what's wrong with them, what they're feeling, the way they jump every 5 seconds and they can't sit still. To you guys, that's just a sick person. But I get to see why they just jumped and moved. They really putting witchcraft on people in that environment. So they're very evil. Very evil. Only, you get me? You still have to be careful. There could be people that just demons torment them mentally and they're not evil. But when I say mentally, I don't mean someone with mental health problems, right? Because just healthy people just have that sometimes. Life goes down. I'm talking about the sick, sick, sick ones, that don't even behave decently. Okay, obviously you're not going to call them moral. How are they moral if literally what comes to your mind when I see mentally ill person is indecency, right? They're naked, they pee in places, they put their feces in places, wherever they go, maybe there's crime, like that. You get me? So obviously they're not moral, you know? And the devil did that. He gave them that puppy little poor sick little thing image in order so that people actually don't deal with them like a mature person who commits crime too, who harasses people too. I've seen it. They're so conscious. They looking at you, they smirking, they say something evil. If I ever look at them, la, 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 like they start singing like a crazy person. So it's actually a way to protect themselves. They're just narcissists, but they're like the sick narcissists. I hope you got the point. I was trying to make a joke of that, right? So yeah, I'm like at the end of the demonic persecution. Obviously, it's gonna end, and I'm gonna have a normal life and help everyone. But I'm getting sick from it. Imagine seeing sick people all day, and human beings who just behave every day around you. For me, their demons come out of them, right? Their worst side comes out because God is teaching me what they do behind the scene, right? If you ask me what's the central sin they all commit, perversion. They're all perverted, very perverted, very perverted, very perverted. So that's why then there's a central theme in religion, right? When it's corrupted, it's just perversion. Oh, this man who's a prophet raped her, this thing, oh, and then he did this. He cheated on his wife and got, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's the only man who's an example for you. How dare you? So I get to see that because they walk around me every day and make random accusations about me and they don't even know you. It's that simple. They just wrote a book one day. Um, so yeah, What was I talking about? Um, Sorry. And also how they try to trick someone who's going through gangstalking is normal people making normal noises. They're gonna bring mentally ill people who truly are the real gangstalkers. Um, and then you know what I mean? The other people might be possessed, but they're not gonna do weird behavior. You know, it's just a mentally ill person who would do that when they sit there as homeless or when they sit at a store or whatever as an employee. They're just really mentally ill. The other people might just be mean, just like they are to other people, but we wouldn't call them gang stalkers. Because look at the word stalker, right? It's really them who just walk around society following you around. Um, so I saw it today. There's this decent human who's truly on his computer just eating something, and the wrapper, the sounds it's making is normal. There's no evil energy at all. Since I can see energy, right? For me, it means I can see the power behind it, not just energy. And then instantly, this mentally ill person would not sit still. They're just getting this newspaper. It's like left, right, left, right, left, right. They just keep leaning back and forth. And every time they make noise, it gets louder and louder and louder. You get me? A lot of the others will be quiet because I've been defeating the psychology of this witchcraft. So you get me? I've been asking God to replace them with people who are not mentally ill. And literally my feelings, my mood, my health, the environment, the peace of the city improves. So that means real deal gang stalkers are mentally ill people. As long as we're not around them, it doesn't matter if you're someone going through gang stalking. The other people, you'll just be neutral with them. You'll just be fake with them. You really will keep your job and live your life in peace. They're just bad people. But they're human in that sense, right? They're not crazy. They haven't reached the high level where demons just make them sit all day, 10 hours in a store, just juk, 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 making rent. That's not a human, obviously, right? So don't focus too much on the gang stalking not ending. Keep praying until it ends, but as long as you're not around mentally ill, you'll be fine. Because they're the ones that really are the problem. Because all they do is make noise that hurts your brain. Because not only is the noise harassment, but there's witchcraft on it. You know, so it actually hurts the body because it's spiritual attack. But all these other people, very evil human beings, also high psychological issues. You can call them mentally ill too, but they're the ones who are not the crazy mentally ill. You know, they're just the ones who have a job and they just mind their business. There you go. They won't make you sick. But the moment mentally ill ones come to the building and there's no one else there in these public places, then those ones starts to do what they want. They also make random noise. They just hit things as they're the janitor. They just, as a front desk worker, they're so loud. You get me? It makes them feel confident to do what they want. All I did was ask God to replace them with people who are not like these extremely mentally ill. And demons don't know how to torment me anymore with sound. You get me? Because they like to hide. These humans are evil. Demons send them to harass people they don't know. But they hide, obviously. The goal is to do things covertly. So that's what I mean by they're narcissists, you know? They're just the crazy type of narcissist who actually reacts, you know? So they don't know how to bother me anymore. So they try to mimic me. That's why they walk towards you every time you exit and enter a building. They're always going to be right there walking towards you or exiting with you because they want you to notice them and portray you like themselves. Because normally you don't look at people, right? When you exiting and entering a building, you have decency, you're normal. So they send this anger to you, this witchcraft to you, right? Obviously, this human is trying to always walk to, you know, harass you, right? That's intentional. And they also try to get you to walk where they want. They don't say anything, they don't do anything. That's how you know how dangerous it is, right? The power God gave demons. They can control you without doing anything in the human body. So this human being tried to enter the building I was exiting, and all these thoughts entered my mind that they're gonna get too close to your personal space because they're crazy if you just continue to walk in the same direction that you're walking. Because that's the direction they like to also lean to. Instead of like when you enter a building, you usually go on the outer side because you know people are exiting, right? Exactly. They don't care because they're using these psychos. But if it was the decent human, they're just bad human, they're not mentally ill, then I don't have to worry. They always get out of my way. So you see, so gangstalking really is a problem for you if you're seeing mentally ill. Just get away from them and just be decent with others. They'll be fine, you know? So, right, this fear overcame me, and I without my permission, get it? It was like an attack on me, so I didn't agree to it. But my body was attacked with that, and the brain just went in the other direction. And they just literally walking, pretending to be this normal person like me, and that causes me so much anger. How dare you mock me, you know? But if I was to just have the ability to overcome that, right? Because sometimes it catches me off guard. Or if I wait for them and I let them pass, which is what I did. Another one tried to walk towards me prior to this human. I just waited. And they got so scared and they act like they were just reading something off a shelf. Everybody in that building noticed, right? That they're making me uncomfortable. I had no choice but to stop. Like that. That's the solution when they're walking towards you every corner. You know, like that sort of crowding. That's covert. But then, exactly, the moment you just then sort of get used to it, right? You feel relaxed now. Whew, let me go. They like to ruin that pace. They don't want you to actually enjoy them just walking straight ahead with no one coming towards you. So boom, they bring another crazy human out. You know? So yeah. It caught me off guard. I just wasn't ready for that sort of mental attack. And then, because right, they make it worse. Because they saw you defeat that one. What did I want to do when I saw the second one? Wait. Wait and let them pass. But they put fear in me. They might try to get close to my personal space. You know? And okay, I went the other way, and instantly all this anger entered me because it's like you wronged yourself. You get me? You went against what you wanted to do, right? Your authentic self. So that's why then it affected me negatively, emotionally, because I didn't want to do it. So then, okay, I'm angry because of that natural way God created us, right? But then, two, there's witchcraft that enters me of anger. Ah, look, we just had power over you, blah, blah. They just, they're projecting it to you. So, yeah, being really slow, really calm is how I was when I was younger. That's why these demons could never bother me. If I just try to act like just the person that you're supposed to be, just normal, just get out of a building as quick as you want. That's when they love it, because then all this mob runs towards you. And they're all trying to assault you, but no one knows. And also just psychological torture. Okay, so yeah, without these extremely mentally ill people, gangstalking actually does not have any ability to affect you. Which is why a lot of us who are harassed by demons, right, who are gangstalking, none of us ever noticed it before, even though they were there for years. Because those people were not mentally ill. They were just bad managers, bad coworkers, just narcissistic. Okay, but they're not crazy. So they'll behave. They know how to walk by you respectfully. So why would you get sick? But these ones make you sick, because they're sick. But the real reason they make you sick is because their demon has more power to attack people than someone who's not mentally ill, because that means when they're possessed, their demon walks around, puts witchcraft and other powers on people all day. While other people, their evil is lower, so they're not going to walk by you and put witchcraft on you all day. You get me? They actually really do go and eat something. They really do sit and work on their computer. You get me? Their evil is lower. This would also apply to rapists and other extreme predators and high-level sinful females, right? Who are, who usually do things like witchcraft. It depends. They're just a witch. It depends, to be honest. But usually, right, these harmful humans, yeah, they're also gonna have that quality of witchcraft being done to you all day too. Right now, what they're doing is they're just flooding my building. They're just flooding every public place I go with so many of these mentally ill people. So I asked God, why do they need them? You see, that's why you have to ask questions when you see weird things. There's so many bad people in the world. Why do they need these ones? Because those people are not evil enough. So that's why the demons care. If right now you're a bad person, that's why they care, to make you more evil. Exactly, because then they get to have more power. to hurt people using your body. They can't do that when you're just a mean person, but not, right, heavily that crazy in the mind that you're so wicked. They can just take over your body and just hurt people with witchcraft and all these invisible things. And people are getting cursed, they're getting sick, they're losing things. They feel like their mind is clogged with all these bad thoughts and hyper awareness. And they're thinking, what the hell? Right? But society doesn't remember that. We don't remember these problems because we're not around mentally ill people. I've never seen a mentally ill person my whole life. I went to school, I went to college, I went to mosques, I went right to after school maybe, and then I get a job, I go to nice places. Why the hell would I see you, right? Only I could see you in buses. I took Lyft and Uber and got the hell out of there. But now they're everywhere in society. It's not just me who's gonna suffer from them. So yeah, they're very evil. A lot of them deserve the death penalty because they've committed heinous crimes. And if you could see the spiritual attacks they do, you would give them death penalties. So that's why religion has to come back, right? When we have these criminals who are so covert, and there's so many of them too, religion is going to have people who have the ability to know them, identify their sin, and God will tell them what punishment to give these humans. And they'll teach you, human beings who can't see that stuff, right, how to protect your societies. So that's the other purpose of religion. It's not just about God, and it's about helping you find criminals that are invisible to us, helping us find solutions to making these people stop being this sick, and just be normal again, because the demon will get out of the body. They have to repent and be good, though. You can't just take a demon out of their body, right? Because they work with their demon, it's that voice they talk to. Yeah. So that's going to be very interesting to see what God's going to do about mentally ill people. Since they're very evil, it's not going to make sense to just help them and they repent and demons get out of them and they join us in society. A lot of them have to be killed because they commit so much crime all day. Some are just invisible. I told you. Is God going to then ignore that because we didn't see it with our eyes? No. So, you know what I mean? Don't just think God's going to bring someone and everyone's going to go to paradise. No, they're going to bring a lot of punishments. You should all be happy with that. If you saw what these people do all day, how much torment they cause, right? How much evil they do. They sit there with a newspaper pretending to be a normal person, but they're cursing people. They're putting witchcraft on people. They're putting evil eye on people. You can't be like, isn't it just bad emotions and thoughts? No, it's also disease. Every now and then I get hit in the stomach and I can feel it. Something's attacking my stomach and now I'm sick. I pray and pray and pray. It doesn't work. It's so much effort. So if someone was to poison someone's stomach with a disease or a sickness, would you guys not want to give them years and years in prison or death penalty according to the severity of the situation? What if the person died or developed cancer like that? That's what they're causing God's creation. These humans and other humans who are evil, who are not necessarily mentally ill. So they're committing behavior, right? Evil things that you human beings would say, let's kill them. But you don't see it. You get me? So yeah, and God has to bring punishments that are, right, fit for them. So that's why then you see then why he has to always create prophets as supernatural? Why they can't just be regular people like you? Because then how are they going to know the sins these people commit that's invisible? How are they going to tell you someone's a demon that moment? Like, how are they going to help you if all the evil is caused by demons and they're invisible? And they always try to get away with making you believe they're actually not a threat to you and they're invisible and like that. So yeah, that's actually another way why God maybe makes demons follow or bother, right? Whoever he's using to help you. You get me? Why do they manifest? Because that's a way to prove they exist. Because if complete strangers are always stalking and harassing someone they don't know, okay, that's God's way of also trying to help you human beings, right, who can't see their demon, believe demons exist. Because it doesn't make sense. Why would all these people just bother you? That's another reason I believe, right? He makes demons persecute or bother prophets or messengers. because exactly, usually around the time they're being sent is because there's so much injustice, corruption in religion and everything, right? Like now, there's always that situation where some humans say demons don't exist. Or, okay, they exist, but they're not a threat to us. Or they don't believe it at all. And that's what a part of the world that they were sent to, right? Because there's always going to be someone who believes in some other part of the world. Only God knows, right? If at one point everyone believed they didn't exist. So you see, by making demons then manifest, right? They're already possessing these people. If they just pop up and act bad out of this human, without that, the human wouldn't personally want to do that, right? Is the demon coming out of them? Now, would that not prove to you there's something else out there, like that? So I think that's another reason God is trying to help you believe not only that they exist, but the abilities they have, which is all the crimes that is happening in the world, all the bad behavior in the world is not done by humans only. Their demons are working with them. So like that. So obviously it's good to be careful with this. There's always good and evil. Only God knows, right? But every time I say to you guys, mentally ill people, one, I'm talking about the extremely mentally ill. But then two, exactly, I'm really saying to you that extremity is evil character. It's not an actual person who's like just a victim, to something that you may not understand, which I tell you is demonic possession, and there's no such thing as mental illness. So some religions like Christianity might be like, yeah, there's demonic possession. Islam will be like, yeah, there's demonic possession, but then there's also mental illness. That's the part where demons use them to lie. And they do that because those are hypocrites, those religious preachers, Again, there's always that person, right? Always that person that doesn't know anything, right? They just follow what other people told them. But then they'd be a moral person. So when I say hypocrites, I'm talking about the ones who tell you, right, the perversions and the sexisms and the other weird stuff in their religion is okay. Okay, that's obviously not a good person. So it's those types of religious preachers that, right, they're possessed too. Basically, you're going to get possessed if you commit sin that is very evil and also medium, So you have to be really pure at heart to not be possessed. So, okay, almost everybody in the human race is possessed. 99 something percent, okay? So there's a lot of just nice, okay, good, moral, decent people. They're also possessed. Okay, but what's the difference between them and this one? Right? Then how does demonic possession make these ones bad? Because these ones are possessed because of their evil character. So their demons use them differently. While that person is a good person. They don't do anything nasty, weird, or strange, or bad. No matter what culture or world we live in, they're actually so unique, right? Okay. They got possessed because maybe they sipped alcohol one time and they're like, I won't do it again. Maybe they said something bad once like that. Their sin is like 1 and 2. Are we saying alcohol is normal? No. It's just, is them drinking it necessarily them being immoral? You know what I mean? They could have been taught to just do that. So I'm trying to help you guys. I'm trying to protect your character, But at the same time, to me, someone who could never sip such a nasty, smelly thing like that, you get me? Like, I know someone really innocent won't drink it. I know someone very similar to me in my morality would get away from it. But I still don't want to treat you guys like you're so bad, I'm trying to remember many times as human beings, you're being manipulated and taught things. And so, yeah, there's really no innocent and pure human on this earth. Humans are just average in their morality. The people we would say are really pure in morality are prophets and messengers, Obviously, they commit sin too. I commit sin, but the sin is tiny. I'm not someone that if I was a kid and you tried to teach me to drink alcohol, you can't. It's like I'm an adult or something. I just know, I'll fight with you. So that sort of innocence, it's very rare then, right? People have it in certain ways, but not every single situation. So you get me? I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, I'm not saying there's no good people out there, but I'm saying is that rarity. Okay, so then, and then for the mentally ill, I'm obviously being persecuted by demons. They're made to follow me, so I learned something. I'm not a victim to them. So for that reason, right, even though I go through bad situations, you get me? It's not directed at me. They obviously need to use the bad humans who are possessed, not good people who are, because that's a good person. You possessing their body does not mean anything, right? They're still a good person, right? Doesn't mean you get to then use them, right? No. They get to use people by getting their agreement first to be bad to you. So this is just a disclaimer episode, you know, that don't go around treating mentally ill people that way or this way. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to teach you, the ones who are actually evil, what they're used to do is so harmful than just a typical bad narcissist or someone else at a job or environment, because you can actually see what those ones are doing. All right, the mentally ill, the demon used the way that they make them behave, aka mentally ill, right? They always move too much, they make noise too much, like that. They use that to hide the spiritual ways they're attacking people in that environment. And if you knew then what those spiritual things are, right? They can cause you sickness. They can make you literally have mental problems yourself. They can put a witchcraft on you that just puts intrusive images and thoughts in your head all day. Like that. And you're just thinking, what is this? What is it? Where did it come from? I don't remember this. What happened to me? And now you, right? Someone who was healthy like that. Now you start to have this problem of intrusive and all this and bad, heavy feeling like that. That's evil. You're hurting people's health and mind. Sometimes they put a curse on my stomach and boom, it's just, there's unexplainable pain, or you don't know what the hell it is. I didn't eat anything bad and nothing happened. I have to pray to God for some time, you know? So obviously that's a horrible thing, correct? Imagine giving someone a disease, giving someone a sickness. Disease is kind of difficult, right? But for me, right, it was like a sickness. So it's like that. Aren't they evil then? Because, I'm sorry, aren't they evil in a way that's very hard to deal with? Because you can't see it. So other people, yeah, they're also used to do similar things, but it's like they're not like that as much, you know? Bad people are possessed to be around me, but then they don't drop bombs on me of witchcraft. That's it. That's what I'm saying is the difference. But if it's an extremely mentally ill person, which is the typical ones you'll see in this country who are homeless, my God, I'm literally being attacked by real demons. There is no human there. The entire time, it's like if the devil was asked to come down to earth himself in his own body, wouldn't they attack you all day versus a few seconds? Like that, you get me? If they could actually come down and attack people, bother people with spiritual things, wouldn't they do it so much and come as a mop? So they bring mops of mentally ill wherever I go. If it's not a building, then okay, they're all over the street. They're all over the buses, the trains. Instead of people going and minding their business, and I just saw you randomly, but maybe a demon used you. Instead, they actually make them follow me. You gave me the human doesn't know anything. It's just they know they're doing evil though, you know. They just don't know who you are. They just don't know who you are. Like that. It's the way that demons use them to put witchcraft on me is far more evil. It's far more difficult to stop because it's every little second they just move their body. How can I constantly send that back to you, correct? It's tiring. So that's what I mean. So they're it's just they're more evil for you to be around than just a bad person. Because that bad person didn't reach a level psychologically where they, right, would ever agree to just do that to people all day. You know, especially using normal behavior of just moving, eating, picking up a newspaper. That's crazy. How, you get me? You're more evil because of how the behavior and the way you're going about it is not only too covert, and no one will probably even know you did it and pray against you, but you get to do it all day. You get me? So yeah, you know, Don't go around treating them this way or that way, correct? You always want to be just and moral. But just know they're very harmful. And they're not just, right, just someone, if they have bad character, then okay, they have bad, no. They have bad character, but then they have the spiritual, demonic side that's worse. You know? They're worse. You can't be around them, is my point. You actually cannot be around them. But a psychopath, a narcissist, a bully, a creep over there, they're all going to mind their business at some point. If they're a coworker, at some point they're just going to do their job. But the mentally ill demons use them in a way that you cannot ignore them. You cannot just also sit there and just work on your computer. You know, they attack me with witchcraft every millisecond. Imagine every millisecond a witchcraft is done to me. Just by them tapping their phone all day, picking a pen, putting it down. That's too much sin. That's too much evil and wickedness. Right? So that's what I mean by they're very harmful. So only normal people, right, who many of them are moral people, good people, just morality has levels. They're the ones who could have mental health issues. That's not mentally ill. I don't label you mentally ill. Right? You're just being oppressed mentally. So when the truth comes down again, right, when God brings down the truth again and corruption in religion stops, these terms, mentally ill and mental this, it's going to stop. It's just going to be called demonic possession, but you're going to be treated differently. An evil person and a good person, like that. So that you don't feel mocked if you're a good person and you got possessed too. No one can make you feel like you're a demon or something. You know what I mean? We really say that to the evil one, right? Because they're actually working with the demon. While you're just being harassed by it, you're the one with the mental health issues. You get me? Well, for they, exactly, they're a psychopath, narcissist, sociopath, this disorder, that, you get me? They've actually descended to a point where they misbehave all day. Like that. Okay? So you really have to become evil in order to actually have actual diagnosis of an actual disorder, is what I'm saying. You know? Because it just means bad behavior comes out of you, which is that sort of extra personality that people are calling a disorder. It's not like it comes out of you and it does some good deed. Okay, so it is about morality, you know? Your morality is corrupted. So, and alcohol does that to you to some degree, and drugs. So that's why you want to stop doing that. They take over your body, and that sort of extra way you behave. It could be you, but you feel influenced to say and act too high and hyper. Well, that's them influencing you using witchcraft in the alcohol and other things. But then the possession, right? They might have possessed you already. And then at some point they will. So not a, question mark. But then the drugs, complete demonic possession. You're finished. That's why almost anyone who's on drugs is at some point going to be a heavy criminal, right? For the males, right? Rapist, murderer, shooter, thief. They at some point going to get to a high level crime versus just being a mean person. You get me? Because 24/7, it means their demon is possessing their mind and putting all this evil into it. Become this, do this, do that, be this type of criminal. All it does is tell them how to be this and that. It's their choice, obviously. How many people go on drugs and their morality maybe didn't get affected? It's just rare. The reason why it's rare is because a really good person is not going to use drugs. You get me? So that's why it's rare. It's rare because the whole reason some people are using drugs in the first place is their morality got corrupted already. You know what? They've already become bad in the heart. Some envy, some hatred, some meanness, some perversion, something, some sexism like that. And then they're using the drugs to numb themselves because God created them with guilt and shame. That consciousness they have is fighting with them and telling them, hey, you're becoming a bad person. Like that. So then they want to shut it up. They numb themselves. It's not always about numbing loneliness as they want you to think. No, usually humans are numbing the conscience that wants them to be a good person. So you see why I'm connecting it to morality? Because what they're actually trying to numb when they're mentally ill and they're sort of lost it And when they're using alcohol, drugs, there's just bad behavior you've done. You want to shut it up. You don't want to say, you're right, I should not have done that, and just go back to being good again. So numbing it, not only now, right? Did evil character lead you to this? But then you're committing more sin because you're numbing it. You're not repenting. You're not stopping it, even if you don't know the religious idea, or even if you don't maybe worship a God. Just that, and the internal disagreement with it is also repenting. You know, if you don't know the religious way of saying, "My Lord, I repent," you know, it just means they don't turn away from it. They don't change. Okay, now what's gonna happen? Okay, the drugs now is not just some bad thing to their health. You see what I'm saying? It's not just a health thing anymore. It's a morality thing. Now it's going to corrupt their morality more. This evil thing possesses them. They already are bad at heart. And it's just going to keep teaching them like some bad friend 24/7 how to be evil. But see, a bad friend goes away and sleeps. This thing is possessing their mind and it doesn't sleep. You get me? Oh my God. That means 24/7 they have evil thoughts. They have evil thoughts. They have evil thoughts. They have violent thoughts. They have racist thoughts. They have sexist thoughts. Imagine. Of course, they're going to become a heavy, violent criminal. The hell? And they don't want to stop it. And just be good. So like that. Right? But there are people who may not necessarily have ever done violence or things like that. They look nice. And they've done drugs too. For them, they've gone down some type of perversion. They've gone down the type of perversion where they're not trying to attack others, you know? And they've come back like that. So either way they went to evil, it means they came back. Either way, at some point they got into fights all the time and harassed like that. It doesn't mean they're good. They're also the same. It just means now they've come back like that. So they're the ones that came back. Don't let that then make you think they never became evil because they now look good and they tell you they were on drugs before. No, that's a time they used to do a lot of bad behavior. You can't do something like drugs and not do evil. It's impossible, you know? But again, that's that always rare situation that only God knows, right? Maybe someone lied to them and told them sniff this, like that sort of situation where a human is not looking to do bad. You know, someone just told them this is nice or whatever. Humans can be manipulated. Maybe they told the loneliness will stop it like that. Okay, but guess what they're going to do if they're a good person and they're not evil? They're going to stop. Because why would they want to hurt themselves? So yeah, they got possessed, but the demon loses power over them in that sense. It can't control them too much. Because exactly, it needs you to be a bad person. Be filled with envy and hatred towards God's creation. Just be a bad person at heart. How you view others and yourself. Then it gets to do what it wants. You know, since the sin is your choice. But they possess children, you know what I mean? So the possession is not really the problem. It's your character that's the problem. If your character is bad and they possess you, it just means you're finished. Because they're going to get you to agree to do bad. Even if people don't know that. They think you're a nice person. You'll become that covert criminal, that covert harasser, bullier, etc. Each time you do that, you're obviously getting close. You're obviously going to go to hell. You know what I mean? If you don't repent, obviously you'll still be punished for it. This is up to God. If you haven't done too much, you might get punished some other way and not go to hell. But if we would say it's been going on too far, well, I mean, based on just the knowledge we have of God, of course you have to go to hell. But you just leave that to God. We don't want you to feel confident that you won't go to hell. So I'm warning you, you will go to hell, you know. It's that rare situation where he might punish you some other way, give you a lot of disease or physical injuries in this earth. And that's how he's, right, getting your sins, what is the word? That's how he's helping you to pay for your sins. You know what I mean? Like a prison sentence. But really bad people, you've actually done horrible things, you have to go to hell because the punishment here is not enough. Otherwise, who's going to go to hell if God just made everyone get a disease and gave you some physical injury and he just forgave you that way? Then who is going to go to hell? Right? You can't just be a rapist. Come on. And murderers. You all know hell has different levels. According to Islam, I think they said 7. That's a lot. So A lot of people could go there who may never even think they'll go there, you know? Like that. You don't want a sin to be too repetitive, like maybe masturbation or alcohol. Something that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. If you do it too much, you might actually be thrown in there. So that's why you don't want to mock God. Yeah, he's merciful, but still you don't want to mock his punishment, right? You know it's possible you'll be put in there. So don't mock it, you know? Always seek forgiveness and leave this stuff.